Hi guys, good to see you again. As you know, we're learning about Solomon. And what is the thing that Solomon is most known for? Do you remember? No. Yes, wisdom. Good job. He's known for wisdom. Solomon became king, and Solomon could have asked for anything he wanted. And when he became king, he didn't say, okay, God, now that I'm king, I want riches, I want popularity, I want this, castles, horses, blah. No, Solomon knew he couldn't do this job on his own. Solomon knew he needed God's help, so Solomon asked for wisdom. And that's what we're going to be focused on for the next several weeks. And I have another story that I want you to see as Solomon gets into a little bit of a jam, and boy, does he ever need God's wisdom. Take a look.
God answered Solomon's prayer and gave him great wisdom. He composed 3,000 wise sayings and wrote 1,000 songs. He knew all about animals and birds, fish and plants and flowers. He became famous far and wide for his wisdom. God also gave Solomon the skill to deal with all sorts of situations at court. Many of his people came asking for justice, requesting the king to hear their problems. One day, 2 women arrived and were shown into the king's throne room. One of them was carrying a baby. A soldier took the baby and held it, while the 2 women poured out their story to the king. "We lived together," the first one began, "and we both had babies not long ago. My baby was born just 2 days before hers. One night, she rolled over on her baby by accident and it died. While I was still asleep, she took my baby from beside me and put her dead baby in its place. I woke up to find the baby beside me was dead. When I looked again, I saw that it wasn't my baby at all, but hers." The other woman interrupted angrily. "The dead baby was yours," she argued. "Mine is the living baby. Yours died." The king let them shout and argue for a moment. Then he asked, "Are you both claiming that this live baby is yours?" "Yes," they shouted together. "Fetch a sword," the king ordered. A sword was carried in, and Solomon said to one of the soldiers, "Since both these mothers say the baby is theirs, cut the baby exactly in half and give them half each." At once, the baby's real mother cried out, "Don't kill him. I'd rather she have him than for him to be divided." But the other woman said, "Go on, do as the king said. It's fair." "Stop," Solomon shouted. "Don't hurt the baby. I wanted to discover the true mother. The baby belongs to the one who wants to save his life. Give the baby to her." Everyone in Jerusalem heard about the situation of the baby and the 2 mothers. They thought how wise and clever their king must be if he could think of such a scheme to find out the truth.
Hey, well, you could see Solomon had a really tough situation on his hands. He didn't know what to do. He had 2 moms, both saying this was their child. Now, I can tell you this, probably Solomon wasn't really going to cut the baby in half, but Solomon was doing this to try to find the real mom, because the real mom would never want their baby to be harmed. Solomon knew to do this because he had wisdom. It wasn't just because he was smart, he had wisdom. Remember, Solomon really wanted God's wisdom. He knew that he needed wisdom in order to lead the people and to make good judgments, just like the one we saw in the story. There was no way Solomon could do it on his own. And he really wanted God's wisdom. He asked for it, he sought after it. Have you ever lost anything in your bedroom? Like maybe you lost some money, or maybe you lost your phone, or maybe you lost something else. What did you do? You didn't stand there and just say, oh well, I can't find it. No, you went after it. You went looking for it. That's what Solomon did when he went after God for wisdom. When he sought God for wisdom, he prayed and he asked God, please give me wisdom. I can't do this on my own. And this is a great example of God's wisdom at work in Solomon's life. And you and I need God's wisdom too. Because there's a lot of things that come my way, and I just don't have what it takes to make the decision on my own. Same thing happens with you. You have a lot of problems and difficulties that come your way, and you need God's wisdom as well. And just like Solomon, you and I can ask God to give us wisdom. And the scripture says that if we ask God for wisdom, He'll give it to us. And that's what we need to make good decisions. Whenever we're faced with temptations, to have the strength to walk away, to know what's right and to know what's wrong. You and I need God's wisdom just like Solomon. And all you have to do is ask. Ask for God to give you wisdom. And then when God does give you wisdom in the form of the Bible or the teaching you hear at church, especially the coaching and the guidance that you get from mom and dad, when God's wisdom comes in those ways, we hear it, we accept it, and then we do it. It doesn't mean anything for us to know it and not do it. And that's the wisdom that Solomon had. He knew what to do because God gave him the insight, and then he did it. You and I can have the same thing. So this week, pray and ask God to give you wisdom, and He will. All right, we love you guys. We'll see you next time.